morning.
Yeah, morning. It's the next day, and we are going to Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty today. So we are at the South Ferry Station, which we just took the one train down, and we have a hard hat tour for Ellis Island that we bought. That's in addition to the reserve ticket, and we really are more probably interested in Ellis Island of the two, so we wanted to, you know, enhance our experience there, which is why we got the tour for that. That's the only tour for Ellis Island, but yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I don't think we'll be able to film on the tour, but
we'll take photos.
You, yeah, and everything else we'll show you.
All right.
Cool. Before we go to Ellis Island, we're getting photos at the Defiant Girl and the Bull. I got all the women with the Defiant Girl.
Betsy, step in just a little bit.
You can be defiant and choose your own pose, Betsy. We're walking to the departure point now, but we're getting views of Wall Street, including One World Trade Center right there. That's crazy.
And the light today is kind of ridiculously amazing. It's like sunny but hazy. And
yeah, should be good.
It's pretty cool.
All right, we're on the boat after me accidentally filming security and then having to delete it. We are all good to go. They didn't send me back. But yeah, on the first Liberty Island.
Yay!
Originally intended to celebrate the 100th anniversary
See One World Trade
of
Center as we leave.
And to be a symbol of friendship.
Not sure if it's gonna show up, but it's the Statue of Liberty's in the fog there. Can't find it. There we go. Here's a better look.
You know, it's maybe, I'm glad we got the good pictures that were totally clear last year. It's maybe even more dramatic to see it emerging.
It is. Yeah, look at that.
You can just barely see it still. On the camera at least. It's fairly clear in real life, but it's cool how you can't see the island at all. I mean, you can barely see the pedestal.
Yeah.
It's really dramatic.
Yeah, and Betsy made the point, like, you can still see the fire really, really well. Like, that's the first thing you saw, which, of course, you know, that's the whole point of a lantern. But, you know, when it comes on a statue, it's even more dramatic. All right, we're off the boat, being shepherded to where you can explore. But I think we're gonna get an audio guide and then just explore around. And we got off around 9. We're gonna meet up at 10:30 and then head over to Ellis Island for the hard hat tour. We gotta check, our tour's at 12:30, but we gotta check in an hour ahead of time at 11:30.
One of the things that I think Andy talked about, but we didn't talk about very much, was the fact that you can get the free audio guide that goes with your ticket to Ellis Island and to the Statue of Liberty. So, and you don't have to add anything to your ticket to get it. It's just one of those freebies, kind of freebies, or you're already paying for it. And then it'll actually give you a 40 to 45 minute guide, kind of walking tour around the statue. And then if you're going inside, they also have a tour for inside. So it's definitely worth it to listen to. It's actually pretty well narrated and it's very straightforward. Just start with number 100 and then just keep counting up. We're doing the audio tour right now, and if you look ahead, it's really hazy, but you can see the Ellis Island basically, and the big building over there is the main immigration building. And then if we turn to the real foggy area, the tallest building there is One World Trade Center, and an interesting fact is that it's 1,776 feet tall. Symbolic? I think so. So one of the things that I really didn't know was, I guess this star pedestal here is actually a fort. Or it was, it isn't currently, obviously, but...
Now that you put forts in my mind, I can see, oh, it's a fort.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And it definitely looks like the stonework looks older than the top part.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's pretty cool. We had said before that this was a fort. It was Fort Wood, and what's really interesting is it's in this star-shaped pattern because the walls needed to be angled in case of cannon fire so that the cannons would ricochet off the walls and not actually make a direct hit onto it and destroy the whole thing. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you hear like, oh, it's in a star shape. It must be, oh, patriotic, you know, like.
Yeah, I just assumed that was part of the statue.
Yeah, but no, it actually had it was first of all well before the Statue of Liberty, and then it was conceived for specific military use rather than symbolic. This is just a gorgeous statue. I mean,
It's
like,
really pretty.
it's one of those things that you hear about it, it's hyped for sure, but it's every bit worth the hype, I feel like. And, you know, not to get too political, but if America does live up to its ideals, you know, this is kind of the statue that makes you think, yeah, it's possible, we can do it. We can be, you know, be what we say we are.
Okay, so we just listened to the symbolism of the Statue of Liberty, which is right there. But I remembered something from one of our Portland tours, which was, do you remember what kind, how they made this? I could be, if I'm totally off, I will put a note in here, but I think it's a repoussé.
I don't remember. Oh, with the...
yes, they mold it from the inside.
Right, because the Portlandia statue is so high.
So,
yeah.
Oh, you ruined it though. I was gonna say, what is the second largest repoussé in America?
Oh, okay, my bad.
What is it?
It's the Portlandia statue.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. One symbol that you can't see just from where we are these broken chains at her feet. And, you know, sure, it's also, you know, symbolic of the escape from tyranny in general, but it was also right after the Civil War. And so it also brings to mind the end of slavery, both in America and in France. Pretty powerful.
So another thing that we saw was a family taking their first, like their birth announcement, holding up a little baby outfit. It was really, really cute. So it's pretty fun just watching other people enjoy the moment here. It's pretty cool. One of the things that they point out here is the pedestal is the thing that's supposed to connect the statue from the fort. And so there's like smooth, clean lines kind of around there and around the columns and up above, and that's to more represent the smoothness of the statue. And then the rocky portions on the sides are meant to mirror the stones in the fort. So I think they do a pretty good job. Good work.
Well, from one island to another. So we're on Ellis Island now, and we've already checked in for the hardhat tour. They asked that you do that, I think we've mentioned this, but they asked that you do that an hour before. We got here plenty of time, so we did that in plenty of time. And we already had lunch, so we're fueled up.
Yep.
And then I think we'll do a quick lap of the island, and then there's a few videos. There's another audio tour here, and then
and there's more ranger-led tours.
Yes, that's going to be our plan after the hardhat tour, which you had to pay extra for. Those aren't free. The ranger tours are free, but yeah, all of that meets in the main building, so it's an easy thing to find once you get here. When we started at Ellis Island, we still had the early morning haze, and we didn't get these expansive views of the skyline. But oh my God, this is crazy. Orient you for when you get here. This is where you're gonna get off. And then, whoa! The boat wanted just to announce its presence in the vlog. That's okay. And then here's the main entrance where you can get your audio guide and check in for the tours. And there's a couple videos, and there's probably even more stuff that we haven't seen yet. So it's a pretty short walk. Okay, the movies were actually 30 minutes, and we don't have that much time before our hardhat tour, so we're gonna actually do one of the audio guide tours. There's 3 of them apparently, and the first one starts right here. Still on the Ellis Island Experience audio tour, and we pop out to the registry room. Amazing. A little bit of personal history. My great-grandmother came through with a very young 10-month-old, I believe, child, which was my grandfather. Here's a picture of what it might have looked like. This is the tool they use to peel back people's eyes and check for eye diseases as they arrived. No thank you. Alright, we're waiting for the tour now, but so this will be the last clip until after the tour. pause the audio guide and we'll resume that when we get done, but we'll let you know about the tour when we get done. So that'll be the next clip you see. Alright, we're back from the tour. And I definitely think everybody...
It's really worth it. It's only $45 per person, and you get to see a lot more of the island, which is great.
Right, and you get to see like areas that were, I mean, these were all used. I guess you see this, you know, general area which was used, but then you see the main hospital and the infectious and contagious diseases place, and also the psychiatric hospital, which was part of the main hospital. But it's funny to just think, I think you get a little bit more sense of the use of it.
Yeah, and like a perspective on it through time, because it was the Ellis Island for a long time, and then it was military barracks, and then it was a military hospital, and then it was like the FBI was here for a while. They helped detain citizens, or not citizens, the same people from other countries. And just like lots of layers to that history, which I think is pretty cool to see.
Yeah. So now we're back in the main area, and we have, it's about 2 o'clock. The last ferry's at 5:15, so we're gonna try and hit the stuff that we missed because we had to focus on the hardhat tour, and then take the last ferry back to New York City. This room goes over people who didn't go to New York, or didn't stay in New York City and instead took a railroad, which is true of Betsy's family, where her Nana Ivy, her dad's mom, came over from England after World War II and then immediately took a train to Seminole, Texas. This room is talking about the mental test that they took immigrants through, and if you had an X on your lapel, that meant you looked a little weird and they wanted to test you mentally. Anyways, this test was draw a diamond. They gave it to Slavic immigrants in 1914 according to the plaque, which that's exactly the time period for my family. This side of this room talks about the people who were sent back after coming here, which was only about 2%, so that's 250,000 out of the 12 million who came through here, but still, it's sometimes unfortunate, or it's always unfortunate, but sometimes it's tragic, including some of the sexist policies, like if you were a single woman without family or a job waiting for you, you would be labeled an LPC, which was liable to become public charges, since they didn't want, you know, you without any sort of things to support yourself and on, you know, public charges. So, but frankly, who knows how many of the women who were labeled that were labeled correctly, and, you know, maybe they just weren't able to communicate what was going on with them. Here's the final destination for some, at least at the end of the inspection process. The people who would go down the left were the people who passed and were going to New York. People on the right were people who were either meeting somebody or going on to somewhere else in the United States. But the people down the middle were detained or going to be needed medical treatment in the hospital ward. So better to be left or right than the middle on this one. Here's a dormitory room in the main building. So this wouldn't be sick people, because that would obviously be on the hospital or the infectious and contagious diseases ward. But my great-grandfather apparently was held for a couple days as relatives sent him money for him to get in. I didn't know that until today when my dad said it on the tour. So, you know, he would have been in this situation. And it's pretty packed. I hope you made a friend, because it looks like it's 2 per bunk. Alright, I'm gonna meet Betsy for a ranger guided tour now. And since I'm meeting the family in New York City, I'm gonna go through the right door. Okay. She's not here to greet me. What am I to do now?
Alright, so we just finished up at Ellis Island. We're getting the last
Yeah, we're
boat
doing
back.
the last ferry because there's a lot to do here.
Yeah.
I mean, Betsy had a great idea. You can.
I think you could easily do 2 days, like at least a day and a half.
Yeah.
But
the way I heard your idea was, you know, you do half a day, you do just the Statue of Liberty. Because frankly, you go to the Statue of Liberty from New York and then skip Ellis Island and go back. that's half a day. And then, you know, pick another day and do Ellis Island. And so just skip the Statue of Liberty as the ferry comes and then stop off at Ellis Island. So that's an option for you if you have
if you're
similar
really
interests.
into checking it out.
Yeah, because there's, you know, 3 audio tours. I didn't even finish an audio tour. The main one is so long. And then there's so much to look at, and you know, there's the hardhat tour that we did.
There's ranger-led tours, there's the video, and then there's like just walking around.
Right, yeah. Our day's not over with Ellis Island as a school group. By the way, this actually is a great time to bring this up. We came on a Tuesday in May. Watch out for school groups if you do that, because they're loud, they clog areas. It is what it is, but you know, obviously we want kids to learn this stuff, but they're, you know, kids, just keep it down. Oh, in fact, we were on a ranger guided tour, and the guy said, "Will you be quiet over there?" And I was like, "Thank you," but oh well.
It's a little intense.
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
But back to what we're doing now. We're gonna go to the ballet. See Misty Copeland and Giselle. Right? I got all that right? Okay, yeah. So we'll, I don't doubt we'll be able to watch it or film anything, but anyways, we'll check in later. Okay, it's the next day. We clearly didn't film anything else, but we enjoyed the ballet, and you know, that was pretty much it. And we were exhausted by the end of it, so we did go to Shake Shack to get a nice chocolate shake as a treat, but other than that, we just chilled afterwards. So, hope you enjoy the next day.